Hello everyone. Today we'll be diving into one of the most important aspects of agricultural crop production, cost and return analysis. Farming is not just about planting and harvesting. It's also about making sure that the effort and money invested actually bring profit. In this presentation, we'll learn how to compute costs, revenues, and profits, and understand how farmers make decisions based on these numbers. Our objectives are clear. Compute production costs and revenues. Analyze the profitability of crops. Explain the role of cost-return analysis in decision-making. By the end of this lesson, you'll see how numbers guide farmers in choosing what crops to plant, how much to invest, and whether their farming practices are sustainable. Let's start with costing. Farmers spend money on seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, labor, and sometimes machinery. These are called variable costs because they change depending on how much you produce. For example, if a farmer plants 1 hectare of corn, he might spend 10,000 pesos on seeds, 5,000 pesos on fertilizer, 3,000 pesos on pesticides, and 7,000 pesos on labor. That's a total of 25,000 pesos in variable costs. But there are also fixed costs, expenses that don't change with production, like land rent or depreciation of equipment. If land rent is 10,000 pesos, then the total production cost is 35,000 pesos. This calculation helps farmers know the minimum selling price they need to break even. Here's the formula. TVC, or total variable costs, equals sum of all variable costs. TPC, or total production costs, equals TVC plus fixed costs. Think of TVC as the flexible part of the budget and TPC as the complete picture. Example: if TVC is 25,000 pesos and fixed costs are 10,000 pesos, then TPC equals 35,000 pesos. This means the farmer must earn more than 35,000 pesos to make a profit. Now, let's talk about revenue. Total revenue, TR, equals expected yield times price per unit times number of units sold. For instance, if a farmer harvests 5,000 kilos of corn and sells each kilo at 10 pesos, then total revenue is equal to 5,000 times 10 equals 50,000 pesos. Gross margin, GM, is total revenue, total variable costs. Using our earlier example, total revenue equals 50,000 pesos and total variable costs equals 25,000 pesos, so gross margin equals 25,000 pesos. This shows how much money is left after covering variable costs, but before fixed costs. Net profit, or NP, is the most important number. Net profit equals total revenue, total production costs. If total revenue equals 50,000 pesos and total production costs equals 35,000 pesos, then net profit equals 15,000 pesos. That's the farmer's actual earnings. Return on investment, or ROI, shows profitability in percentage terms. ROI percentage equals net profit divided by total production costs times 100. So, 15,000 pesos divided by 35,000 pesos times 100 is equal to 42.8%. This means the farmer earned about 43% profit compared to what he invested. ROI helps farmers compare different crops and decide which is more profitable. Let's analyze the scenarios. Scenario A: a farmer invested 50,000 pesos in eggplants, but only sold them for 40,000 pesos. That's a loss of 10,000 pesos. Scenario B: a farmer spent 20,000 pesos on okra and sold them for 20,000 pesos. That's break even, no profit, no loss. Scenario C: a farmer sold ampalaya at a price 20% higher than production cost. If production cost was 30,000 pesos, selling price would be 36,000 pesos, giving a profit of 6,000 pesos. Scenario D: a farmer sold tomatoes for less than 30% of production cost. If production cost was 20,000 pesos, selling for less than 6,000 pesos is a huge loss. Clearly, only scenario C shows profit. This exercise proves how important cost-return analysis is in farming decisions. In conclusion, cost and return analysis is the backbone of smart farming. It helps farmers know whether their crops are profitable, whether they should continue planting the same crop, or shift to something else. Without this analysis, farming becomes a gamble. But with proper computation, farmers can plan better, reduce risks, and ensure sustainable income. So next time you see a farmer selling produce, remember, behind every kilo of rice or vegetables is a careful calculation of costs, revenues, and profits. Thank you.